What's up, everyone? This is Silver Slayer, and welcome to your daily silver stacking video. Thank you for tuning in and supporting the silver stacking community. The best way to support this video is by liking the video and leaving a comment. You're definitely going to want to do that once you hear the topic of this video, which is, will you make money stacking silver? A lot of people don't even break even, to be honest. This is an article we're going to be covering that's titled, "Seems Like I'm Losing Money Buying Silver." Now, just because you're investing into something doesn't mean you're going to make money from it. A lot of people lose a lot of money investing into things, crypto, the stock market, real estate. I mean, just because you put money into something does not mean or guarantee that you will succeed. The best possible chance we have of succeeding is adjusting and trying to balance our strategy. It's called a silver stacking strategy. Gamblers throw money at something, hope it sticks, with the odds highly against them. There's no strategy to it. Silver stackers make strategic decisions based off information. We get the information, the economy, the charts, silver shortage, supply and demand, and then we take that information and use it to our advantage. That's what investing is. That's what investors do. We strategize. So, if you don't come at this with any strategy, that's gambling, right? That's why I always say it's so important to watch daily videos. Even if it's not my channel, just stay updated in the silver market. So, yeah, let's look at this. This is an article from the Silver Forum, which is a great forum. At Wall Street Silver and the Silver Forum, those are the two places I definitely recommend you sign up, because there's tons of people you can talk to. You can buy and trade. They hold auctions on here. There's prize. There's so many things. There's so much cool stuff to do on there. But anyways, I was digging around and I found a little post on here that says, "Seems like I'm losing money buying silver." And he goes into this, and then there's a huge comment from one of the moderators. His name is Stacktastic, and he breaks it down. And then there's other people commenting. So this is a prime example of why it's so important, or why I recommend you join these forums. So when we go into this, I want to share a little bit, and then I want to read this, dissect it, and I want you to comment as well. By the way, speaking of prize drawings, I'm currently doing a silver giveaway. There is two possibilities for someone to win. So you have two different chances, right? Odds have just doubled for you to get some silver shipped straight to your front doorstep. The entry video is in the description or the pinned comment. May the luckiest stacker win. So please subscribe and you'll be entered. So let's look at this. He starts off to say, let's say I buy 15 ounces of 3/9 fine silver coins. Even at the lowest premium per ounce I can find, including premium and shipping, it's going to cost me about $520. In order for me to recoup my investment, silver would have to increase over $35 an ounce. There's no guarantee it will do this. I know the dollar is constantly losing value in relation to the rising cost of goods, but I still don't see how I'm not taking big risk in buying silver. I'm better off just holding on to my cash, or am I missing something? He's definitely missing a lot. So he just said that he knows the dollar is constantly losing value. So if he holds on to his cash, how in the world is that going to save him? And for him saying he can't guarantee silver will go above $35 an ounce, silver was $50 an ounce not even 10 years ago. 10 years ago, silver was $50 an ounce. And then, before that, 30 years before that, it was $50 as well. 1980 and 2011 were the two times that silver actually hit $50. I really don't think people look at silver and think it can get to that price because they don't know it ever was at that price. They get desensitized to these really high prices, and when it goes down, let's say people that bought at $30, let's say it goes down to 22, 23. For them, their investments in the red, and their they're worried of selling, or they're going to sell, right? They say, did I make the wrong decision? Just like this article or this statement right here. Not realizing that it's going to go back up to 30, and it will go a lot higher than 30 if you understand silver's true value. A lot of people don't, though. They hopped on the Wall Street silver train, or they just bought it because their friend told them so, and they don't really understand what they're investing in or why people invest into it. There's a reason why. We don't just buy it just randomly chose silver. No, there's real reasons, even beyond gold. And it doesn't seem like he realizes this. Now, that's a whole separate video. But that does have to do with losing money. A lot of people lose money because they buy at these prices and they think that it won't go higher. So they do sell at a loss. If he just buys it and holds on to it for 5, 10, 15, 20 years, I can guarantee it's going to be a lot higher than the $35 an ounce he needs to break even. But most people don't wait that long, so they don't break even. It's just, man, that's, man. So anyways, let's just pretend that he didn't go that south from things, and let's just pretend he's just wondering how he's going to make this money back, because this is obviously someone extremely new, but it even says new member right there. But anyways, let's go into this. You have it cheaper here in the UK, and you also don't have to pay VAT, which is value added tax, at 20% extra, right? Which is so true. That's a whole separate video I should do as well. If you guys don't know what VAT is, it's value added tax. In other countries, it's a big thing, and that is a serious topic, by the way. So the one thing I've learned in short time in metals is silver is very erratic, and I now look at it as a trading vessel. I still have some collections that I will only sell if it goes beyond a certain level, but many others that I would ditch over $40. So I like how he does have a price range of when he could take some money off the top, right? $40 is his. And actually on the Silver Stacking podcast, the next poll video is going to be, what price are you willing to sell at? Is it $50? Is it $100? Is it $200 plus? And we have A, B, C, or D category. I would like for you to let me know down below, when silver gets to $100, is that high enough for you to sell? Or are you going to hold on to it because you think it could go much higher? Which, depending on the person or depending on the time frame of selling, that would play a big factor, because let's say you're already in your 70s and you don't have another 20 years to wait, then when it hits 100, that might be time. But if you're, 25 or something, if it hits $100 in the next 5, 10 years, you still have a long time, decades of potential price rising, right? So anyways, yeah, let me know down below in the comment section what your price would be, your price target for selling, if you have one. And if you don't, think about it. So he reminds himself a couple of things. So one, remember, you're in a heavily manipulated market, so it's artificially kept down. That won't be the case all the time. This guy knows what he's talking about. Exactly. Price manipulation does go on, but once the silver shortage break apart, when silver is needed for these real world things, solar panels, 5G towers, electric vehicles, silver lithium ion batteries, so on and so forth, you can't manipulate the price beyond that. Just like silver is so correlated to gold and the dollar, that's going to break apart because gold has no play in the electrical, in the industrial sector. I mean, yes, there's gold in electronics. I used to take gold out of cell phones myself, but nowhere near to the degree that silver is. Gold is a monetary metal. It's used for jewelry, coins, bars, earrings, necklaces, watches. More for that. It's a monetary metal. It's a commodity, or I guess it's an asset. Silver is a commodity. And it's funny because people switch those, but I honestly think since silver is more useful, which silver has many more uses than gold does. And it's funny how gold is 75 times more valuable when silver is 75 times more useful. But anyways, it's an industrial metal. So silver is used for all those things. So since silver is so scarce, and yes, there's a silver shortage, in 5, 10 years from now, when there's literally no silver and we need all these solar panels and windmills that aren't even lasting 2 decades like they thought, there's going to be a point when they realize there's no silver, but we need a lot of it. Low supply, high demand. There's going to become a point in time when the producers turn into the consumers turn into producers. People like you and I that want the silver will be selling it to the people that need the silver, right? That's when silver's price will detach from gold. Silver's price will take on a life of its own, like this guy just said. Price suppression can't last forever, especially when you're looking at it from that angle. So, number two, don't relate your fiat to the metals price, especially as it's getting devalued each day now. Exactly. See, this guy, he knows what he's talking about. This is a real, and this is why I say you have to educate yourself. See the difference between these two perspectives. This guy, if this guy obviously down here obviously watches videos like mine and that talk about this stuff. If you don't watch these types of videos, can you see how dangerous it is and how easy it is to lose money? That's why I'm making this video right in front of you right now, so you can come from the angle of this guy and not this guy. I'm assuming that a lot of people that before they clicked on this video were coming from this guy, maybe a little worried. And hopefully by the end of the video, you will now have the perspective from this guy. Do you see why I try to make so many videos like this and why I said this video is so important? So anyways, number two, don't relate your fiat to the metals price. Paper money is only worth the trust of its users, and it's being degraded sharply and the dollar's in trouble. So true, right? The dollar is only as strong as people think it is. People think the dollar is not strong. It's literally not strong. There's nothing backing it, right? Silver has intrinsical value. There's value within itself. No matter who says the 1 ounce coin is worth what is irrelevant, because it's not the price tag that's the value. It's the 1 ounce inside of it. It's not the price tag attached to it. So, silver has been a monetary metal for thousands of years and also real money, and before it's the electrical revolution and store of wealth by the rich. Number three, spike in price might be brutal going forward, but that won't last long outside of hyperinflation. So act fast. And yes, when we do get into this, the green revolution, the entire world's going green, there's not much silver left. U.S. Mint admitted it, announced it. The Royal Mint, the Perth Mint did. You look at the numbers. Things are getting serious fast, and the virus did not help the situation whatsoever. So number four, look at the long-term picture and not just now. Hands out. Stop. All circuit boards and most electronics need silver, and it's much deeper than that. If you look at where the entire globe is going, green, solar, PV cells, photovoltaics, that's used in solar panels, electric vehicles, heavily need silver. There's so much silver that's going to be needed, and we're talking about, we just reached a demand of 1.2 billion ounces this year. In 5 years, I could see it exceeding 3-4 billion ounces because we haven't even started yet. But there's already a shortage. If you think that in 5-10 years from now, silver's still going to be 35, or hopefully, like he says up here, he doesn't even know if it will hit $35 an ounce, there is a guarantee. I can guarantee that if you're buying silver right now and you hold on to it for at least a decade, you will be, and you don't, okay, let's say this guy does sell right now. In a decade, he will be kicking himself in the butt that he did not hold on to it. Just like the people that sold all their Bitcoin at 5,000 or something, and now they're looking at it when it got up to 65,000. That same feeling is going to happen to the person that sells now. Now, I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just showing my opinion and my thoughts. But looking at history, looking at the way the dollar's going, it's a no-brainer. So number five, it's cheap as chips, and it can go a lot higher, maybe even $300 at some point, possibly. See, it is extremely cheap, and it can go a lot higher, and it will, but there's a reason, and I'm glad that he brought up it's really cheap, because it's undervalued. Gold is overvalued. Silver's undervalued. If you're going to buy something or invest into something, you want to invest into the undervalued thing, because that means it's under the value of it. So when the price starts to correct, it goes up. If it's overvalued, that means it's already too high. So then it has to go down when it corrects. If you want proof that silver's undervalued and gold is overvalued, look at the gold to silver ratio. It's 75 to 1. The natural ratio is about 16 to 1, which means that gold has a lot of coming down to do, or silver has a lot of going up to do, or both. But I can guarantee it's going to be silver going upwards. So, and he says $300 at some point possibly. And yes, if the gold to silver ratio goes back down to 16 to 1, with gold sitting at $2,000, that puts silver at $250 right now. And then when you look at, what silver is needed for in the future, where gold is going to have no play in, no opportunity or profit, silver easily could go much higher. So anyways, based on that $10 spot is hardly important, but it's very speculative. I think we could see $50 spot in the next 5 years. Might not last long though. And yes, that's a good point. If silver does break past $50 in the next 5 years, that would be extreme overbought territory, so it might pull back. This was written, I think, in 2021, April 2021, so about a year ago. So, I think in 5 years, it could be a lot higher than $50, just looking at by then how much silver we're going to need, since the Green New Deal will be in full effect. By the year 2030, every automobile company is going to be an EV, which means a lot of silver is going to be needed on that front as well. And by then, there will be such a small amount of silver, I don't see how the price could be anything but $50. And if it does get past 50, there's a very strong psychological resistance level at $50, since it stopped there in 1980 and it stopped there in 2011. So I think once it breaks past 50, it's going to shoot up to probably $100 very fast, but then it's going to pull back and sit around 50 for a long time. That's just my thought, but if you know charts, if you know what resistance levels are, sitting at $50 in 1980 and 2011, that's decades and decades of one level it never broke past. So when it does, there's going to be so much hype. Your friends, your family, your dog, your mom, your cat, squirrel in your backyard, it's all going to be trying to buy silver because it finally broke past the all-time high it's ever been. So anyways, number 6. If you're not happy with silver, go to gold. When prices dip, it's just a metal, and you might have to wait 20 years, right? And 7, if you're not happy with physical or paper silver, take a look at decent dividend-paying mining stocks. Ideally, buy it on a downturn. Now, I would not go that direction. If you can't hold it, you don't own it. That's an important saying that I think is extremely overlooked. If you can't hold it, you don't own it. That means that if you're buying things you don't own, you're not going to get them back. It's very important to understand why we stack silver, and it is not just because it's it's scarce and all that, but you're taking the power away from them and putting it into your own hands. You're taking the control away from them and putting it into your own hands. You are in complete control of your wealth. If you don't have that wealth, if it's stored in a vault halfway across the world from some custodian's name you can't even pronounce his last name or first name, is that your silver? Even on the COMEX, every ounce of silver you have in your safe or that you own, 100 other people theoretically think they own that same ounce, but they don't, because it's digital. It's a number on a screen. There is not as much silver that all these contracts say on the COMEX. There's not that much silver afloat. It's just in circulation. If all of those people tried to turn in their contracts into physical delivery, which they can, but no one would ever do that, then the silver shortage would be exposed, because there literally isn't enough silver going that's out for everyone that owns silver to get. But most of it is digital, so they'll never know that. So anyways, if you want your money back, then keep your eyes posted on the prices next Friday. That's a silver squeeze, which is funny because that's actually next Friday. That's when silver shot up. That was a silver squeeze from Wall Street Silver, and it almost did hit $40. That's crazy. He called it. See, that's how you know this guy knows what he's talking about, because this is a year ago, but he knew next Friday, that's when this Wall Street Silver massive silver squeeze is happening, and that's when silver shot up the highest price in a decade, since 2011. That's crazy, actually. Wow, that's crazy. So anyways, and it wasn't $40, it was 28 or something like that. But still, I mean, it was a massive spike. It went from $11 to like $28 in a matter of like 3 or 4 months. So that would have been the perfect price for him to exit, but who knows if he did. Anyways, though, it's important to look at this. And now here's another, someone else says collect for fun. Well, that's your investment plan and exit strategy. Your plan is to buy for spot, premium delivery cost, sell for spot. No wonder that the numbers don't match. Exactly. So let me explain something. There's two different types of silver. This guy clearly doesn't know about the two different types of silver. He's a new stacker. I'm not trying to bash him. That's why I make these videos. So there's just generic rounds. The silver that's really cheap, it's closest to spot price. Maybe a $2, $3 over spot at most if you get it from the right place. That silver's pegged to spot price. But it's a great way to build a nice foundation, a lot of ounces, right? That's what you want to start off with as a beginner. You build up, you add a lot of ounces to your stack, and then while you're adding all these ounces, then you start learning about the silver market. You start learning about other coins and the I guess the value of those or the market of those coins. If you just start off into high premium riskier coins, you're going to make a lot of bad purchases because you're brand new. You don't know the markets yet. You got to crawl before you can walk. You don't want to just have generic silver pegged to spot price, because if spot price is still $25 in 20 years from now, your stack hasn't appreciated a single dollar. That's kind of what he was talking about. What if it never goes past 35? Well, if he also had pandas, kookaburras, some other coin, maybe koalas, coins where the design changes yearly, lower mintage numbers, pandas 300 to 500,000 per year, or kookaburras 300 to 500,000 per year, pandas 8 million per year, American eagles a lot, 15 plus million, other coins even more than that. So what you do is you build your nice foundation of very cheap silver, lower your dollar per ounce average, and then after you've been in the silver market for a while, buy some higher premium stuff. Yes, it costs more, but it's detached from spot price. So in 20 years, even though this pile of generics and cheap silver will be the same, your pandas, kookaburras will have triple, quadruple, quintupled in value by then. So you're protecting yourself from all cases. You have silver that's appreciating regardless of spot price, but then you have a whole bunch of silver that is pegged to spot price, but hopefully in 20 years, which more than likely the price will be higher. So even if that's the best way to go about it, in my opinion, and like everyone says, diversification is key, right? But if you're someone who is very confident that silver will go higher, then just buy generics. But that could be risky. Now, that also depends on, like I said, if you think the price will go higher. So your strategy also is going to depend on your personal view or opinion on where silver is going to go. If you're someone who thinks that spot price would never hit 100, then you're probably going to be buying a lot of more collectible coins that appreciate regardless of spot price. So you see what I'm saying? You can still make money. It's just you have to be patient. You have to take the emotional attachment out. You have to invest with your head, not your heart. This guy obviously, he might be a little frustrated. He definitely doesn't have the faith. That's the prime example of someone who panic sells because they don't have faith. They need validation. They need confirmation that the price can go higher. If you understand silver's true value, then you don't need that confirmation or validation. You know it will. Those are you're supposed to buy low, sell high. Most people buy high and sell low. They buy it when it's high because everyone's talking about it. It's the hype. Silver's up. All the videos coming out, silver's exploding. That's the wrong time to buy. You missed the boat. When most people are buying, you should be selling. When most people are selling, you should be buying. When the price is low and nobody's talking about it, that's when you buy. And then when everyone's talking about it, you can sell there because that means, the price is high. Buy low, sell high. Don't buy high, hope it goes higher. That's gambling. So yeah, just patience. Buy it and hold it. There's a term hodl, HODL, hold on for dear life. Just buy it, throw it away, not literally, but throw it somewhere in a safe or in your backyard, 2 feet under the ground, wherever, and just hold it for decades. Right? I'm 29. I'm not planning on selling for at least 20 years if I ever sell. If my time frame was 5 years, I wouldn't be in silver. It's a long-term investment. It's a long haul. It's a hedge against inflation. I'm putting my money somewhere as the dollar is depreciating in value that holds its value. So yeah, I'm gonna wrap this video up here. Hopefully you're thinking less like this guy now and more like this guy. And if so, then you have just definitely upgraded your silver stacking strategy. And if you did, or if you learned anything new, or maybe if you agree with any points, make sure to like the video. This is a very important video that I think needs to get seen in front of as many stackers as possible, especially beginners. And I think you know why. So yeah, I'm going to wrap this video up here. Make sure to go enter my silver giveaway if you want a chance to win some silver. I'm picking 2 winners, so your odds have doubled. Also, make sure you head over to the Silver Stacking Podcast. Every Friday, we post a new episode. First podcast ever for Silver Stackers. Doing big things, great format. You're going to like it. Grab some popcorn. Podcasts are hour plus long. Really fun. Lots of different things we talk about. Talking about a new topic every 5 minutes, and it's an hour long, so you get the point. There's lots of stuff we cover on that podcast. So yeah. Anyways, thanks for tuning in. This was Silver Slayer. I'll see you guys soon. Peace.